I was cursed by a Yoruba priest on Instagram, and it kind of messed up my whole summer. Everything he said came true to a certain extent. And he started giving me like, horoscope type updates for a while. And then my abuelita had just passed away. So I was like, oh, maybe this is her. Eventually he was like, oh, but if you want to really know what she's saying or to make sure that it's her talking to you, we need to do a whole ceremony, and the whole ceremony is going to be about $200. And I said to him, I don't want to do it anymore. He flipped. He said, you owe me $200 because I already bought all the ingredients. And
What are the ingredients?
Witchcraft, Nico.
And then he sent me curses, and those curses came true.
Welcome, Sebas, to our podcast. Thank you for
Hi, Sebas.
Hola, ¿cómo están?
¿Qué tal? So,
Buenos
where are you
días.
right now? You're in a
Estoy en Ohio, North Hollywood.
nice North Hollywood represent.
Yeah.
North Hollywood is where my car is getting fixed.
Oh, that's good. They got the best car people out here.
Where the magic happens.
You guys, I have to tell you this story, but I'll tell it later. I want to introduce Sebas. Sebastián Rea. Sebastián Rea is an Ecuadorian-American writer and director from
Nice.
New York City. You're currently a story editor on the project Vigilante, and you were a staff writer on the Peacock UCP drama Devil in Disguise. If that sounds familiar, it's because it just came out. It's about John Wayne Gacy, and he murdered a bunch of men.
Yeah, he murdered 33 young men and boys in
He's a
Chicago.
murderer. Yeah.
Yeah, a little prolific murderer, yeah.
You were
Good
born in
guy.
Ecuador, and you were raised in Queens. Tell us about our friendship.
Okay, perfect. This is
I
an
wanna know this.
excellent segue. So first of all, thank you guys for having me on your podcast. I love watching you guys on social media. I think you guys are doing a really cool. You have really cool guests, so I'm honored to be here. Helen and I met first when I first moved to LA almost like 3 years ago now. I heard about Helen in the periphery, like I would go to all the Latino parties, and all the Latino filmmaker parties, and I heard the name Helen. Helen's really cool. You should meet Helen. Like Helen's doing cool things. She's a great filmmaker creator. I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder who Helen is, right? And then I think like I met a few people that we have in common mutual friends like Cesar and I think some other people, and we just met through like the connection of La Leaf and the filmmaking community, the Latino filmmaking community here in LA. And I had just come, so I've been brand new, and I just started applying to all the programs, the writing programs, the directing programs, kept applying, and I finally got the big one, right? The NBCU Launch TV Writers Program, which completely changed our lives. And that is actually where I officially met Helen. And it was crazy because I'm looking at the cohort of our year, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Helen. That's the Helen Fernandez that I've been hearing about so much.
Capital H, baby.
Capital H, yeah. And I was like, oh shit. So then I think I hit you up because there was maybe like talk of Sundance happening or something, and I was like, oh, maybe that would be a cool place to meet you before the fellowship, the program took place. I never went. I never went that winter, but I remember thinking like, oh shit, like, oh my god, me and Helen are gonna be in a room, like it's finally happening, But it didn't happen. But we ended up being in the writers training boot camp sort of thing that we did together, which was incredible. And I read your sample, one of the ones that got you in, and I felt like you're such a great writer and you're so funny, and this is like the coming of age story that has like the Latino identity in it, and your voice is very strong. And I was just really, really happy and honored to meet you and be part of the group that you were in. Was like, oh shit, I made it because I'm in with Helen,
Oh my god, Sebas, you're so sweet. I am gonna have you on every episode, so you can.
You want to be just introduce you from now on, like.
So many nice things. Thank you. I remember meeting you actually at a drinks through Cesar, but it was like a quick hello at Nandivo, and
Right.
To us being in the program together, and all the time Sebas and I were just hanging out and going to the theater together. That's the only other time that I've seen Sebas, which is thank you again for joining us. We're gonna start with just proof of life. Some proof of life.
Are we alive?
Are we alive? That's necessary to check in with. So we're gonna do quick check-in, Nico, Sebas, and then I'll give you my little car story.
Okay, so I am finished with the proof of concept of that animated show that I show you, Helen, this week. Very proud of actually being done with it because it was a couple months of work. Now I'm shopping it around, having a few conversations. So it's exciting. You gave me some ideas that really appreciated. So finally, a new slot opens up. And so I've been writing again. I've been finishing the screenplay that I started writing this year. And what happened when you finish a script or you're close to finish is that that platonic ideal of what you want it to do is now confronted with the reality of what you could actually do. And so I'm going through the trauma of like looking at this thing and saying, okay, it's okay. We're going to work with this. We're going to make it better. So I'm going through that process right now, thinking about the rewrite actually. So those are my two updates actually. Everything else is business as usual. What about you,
Okay.
Helen?
Well, Sebas, you go ahead.
Okay.
Well, actually, I want to ask you about the rewrite. That is such a special place to be after you finish your first task and you have like sat with it, you given some time, and then you come back with notes. How do you feel about approaching those notes? Are you nervous? Are you excited?
In one way, I think it's great that I can see the whole thing a little bit more clearly. Nothing like outlining cannot do what this does, I think. And I'm telling this to myself because for the longest time I was rewriting this outline before I started writing. And then now it's like, no, it's actually a thing. When you write it, it just takes you to places that you didn't expect it. So I see it a lot more clearly now.
Is it a pilot or a feature?
It's a feature.
Okay.
So it's like 90 pages. And now that I wrote it, I can see all the things that need fixing, but I can actually understand the journey much more in a much more clear way. And some things are working. So I think I'm excited to go back and rewrite, but kind of from the scratch. I would love to take pieces of it, but I'd love the first rewrite to be kind of like a day one, right? Rewrite. So using what I wrote, but like kind of starting from scratch. Actually, I'd like to turn the screenplay into cards again and outline it and see it with a bird's eye view and see the flow before I start writing again. Because I think the thing with a screenplay for a feature is like you get lost in so many pages and so many different parts to it. You can get lost in the big picture and how it wants to move. Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm also in that space where I am in my third revision of a feature that I had just written, and it's a horror film, and I'm really excited about it. It's based on a true story. I don't know if I told you, Helen, about this. It happened to me a few summers ago in New York.
The witch.
Yeah,
Yes, that's funny.
I was cursed by a Yoruba priest on Instagram, and it kind of messed up my whole summer. Everything he said came true to a certain extent, and it was really freaky.
Wait,
you know,
slow down. Can you tell me how this?
It's super intricate. Can I tell the story from what I recall?
Yeah, totally.
You were on Instagram and this person, actually I don't remember.
Shut up.
I'll give you the quick pitch about it. It's basically I was online and I got hit up by a spiritualist who was kept saying like, I have messages from your ancestors that I want to tell you. And I was really bored on set. And so I was like, fuck it, let me entertain this man or whoever it is. And he started giving me like, horoscope type updates for a while. And then my abuelita had just passed away. So I was like, oh, maybe this is her trying to like connect with me. And I was like really looking forward to connecting with her and like having some sort of like a supernatural experience. And eventually he was like, oh, but if you want to really know what she's saying or to make sure that it's her talking to you, we need to do a whole ceremony. And the whole ceremony is going to be about $200. So here's my Venmo. You can send me $200 and we'll do it. Of course, I was like, this is a scam. I'm not going to do it, right? Like, this is such bullshit.
But it's not that much. Like, I would be torn. Like, if it was $2,000, I would go no. But if it's 200,
and you know what? Like, that's exactly what I was feeling too, because I have a lot of friends. Yeah, and I have a lot of friends that go to shamans and go to curanderos or whatever, and they're always like, I spent $200 for the reading. And I'm like, okay, that's base psychic reading rates, you know what I mean, for a good one. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll pay it.
Standard fare rate.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what, maybe. And then I kept telling this guy, not yet, maybe at the end of the month when, because I haven't written on TV yet. I was still PAing. So the money was not there. So I was like, let's see. And he kept saying, okay. And then finally the end of the month came time and he hit me up. He was like, all right, I'm ready. Like, I got all the ingredients. Like, let's do the reading. Let's do the ceremony. And then I was like, you know what? This is actually kind of freaky. I don't want to do it anymore. Like, let's just forget about it. And this man flipped out on me over text. You know, he was like, you wasted my time. I was getting everything.
Over text, you gave him your phone number?
Kind of, yeah. I also gave him my number
Because
because
someone the phone up.
You did.
listen. The thing is, halfway through this relationship I had with him, he was like, oh, okay. I kept asking for proof of his powers, right? Proof of the psychic reading. So he was like, all right, you want proof? Send me a picture of your palm and I will give you a reading, a palm reading for free. And I'm like, all right, you know, maybe that's doable. So I took a picture of my palm and I sent it to him, which right after I sent it, I was like, fuck, like I should not have done that. That's the thing they do in the movies that they're like, don't do that. Like, why did you do that?
That seals the deal.
Exactly. So I sent it to him and, you know, he gave me a reading about the palm and he was like, let's have this conversation over text. And I was like, sure. I gave him my WhatsApp. You know, we started texting. Apparently he was actually in Africa. And he was in Nigeria. And so there was a whole time difference. And he's texting me on this weird ass number that I looked up and said to have been the area code from Nigeria. So I was like, okay, maybe this guy's legit. Anyway, back to the end of the month. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And I said to him, I don't want to do it anymore. He flipped. He said, you owe me $200 because I already bought all the ingredients. And
What are the ingredients?
Witchcraft, Nico.
But what
Literally,
I need to
bro.
know what
We
specific...
can't explain the process of witchcraft right now.
Why not?
Bro, it's scary because
Because
you know what? You have to watch my movie to find out what happened because this shit was insane. It was some brujeria, santeria shit. Like he sent me videos of like bloody animal carts,
That's what I wanted
black
to know.
children chanting, like scary shit. And then he sent me curses, and those curses came true over that summer that I was in New York, and it was insane. And like while this was happening and like ruining my life, I had a visitation from my Abuela come to me at the middle of the night. I had never experienced something so, I don't want to, I guess supernatural, because I guess it is supernatural, but it actually felt like, it felt like the movies, you know, like she appeared to me from a light source and she was glowing and it was like she was there. She held me and I felt like she was really there. It was the most insane experience I had ever experienced. And then after that happened, all the curses started to like heal themselves. So it was almost as if she came and like had my back.
Oh, she saved you from
that. Yeah.
And
I talk about that in the movie, and like that's a big part of it as well. And it's just, it taught me that year taught me like whether or not we believe in this other part of existence that we can't even explain, it believes in us, you know, and there is a connection, that another dimensional connection that we cannot even explain if we don't have the tools to call it out. It's there, and I experienced it, and it's just been insane, really.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and also the dimension of everything happening over social media adds a layer. Like it's a completely new way of experiencing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did they find
why
you?
me?
Like, I had so many.
How'd they find me? Yeah, I kept asking those questions, and then I looked up online, and apparently there has been a whole explosion of Nigerian spiritual doctors swindling and scamming people online, being like, if you don't give me money, I'm gonna curse you. And these people are scared. And everybody that I thought like my primas and my fucking abuelos that I told this thing to while it was happening, they were all like, just pay him. Just fucking pay him, bro. Yeah, go.
$200.
No, honestly.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
It could go
But I was like,
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't want to, because what if, you know, other people were like, he's scamming, don't do it.
I know. But you know what? What advice do you have for me, someone who's considering approaching an Etsy witch? Would you say go through with it? Would you say no? What would you suggest?
Man, it's tough. I mean, I heard of the great power these Etsy witches have now, and it's a little intimidating.
Can you explain this to me? Etsy witches?
Witches
Is
that
this a thing?
advertise their witchcraft is 100% real.
Mhm.
I once did it
100%.
and it worked so well. Anyway, I was thinking about, because my friend contacted an Etsy witch, someone she found on Etsy. She was unemployed and asked for a job, and then she got the job.
Wow.
Wow. And is there something in exchange? Like, it sounds like a Faustian bargain where you're going to get something bad out of it too. Like, you get what you want, get you, who knows?
Well,
Nothing bad happens.
Maybe I
a
look
good
for
thing.
a witch. Maybe
Yeah.
just a good witch.
Okay.
and I'm sure you're paying top dollar, right? Like you're paying for these
For a job, you have to pay.
spells. Yeah, like I would pay $100 to get me a job. Maybe I'll pay half, and then the other half if I actually get it.
Yeah,
I
that
would
makes
do that.
sense.
Well, that's a lot happening in your life, Sebas. What about you, Helen? Do you want to tell us? What are you up to beyond Etsy Witches?
I have been up to not a whole lot, to be honest. Yesterday had one of the most depressed days of my life where I did not get out of bed. I canceled a date. It was not great. But today I'm feeling much better. So proof of my life that I'm
We're so happy. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're glowing.
You are glowing.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you guys this story, like my car saga, but I don't have all the pieces there yet, and the car drama has not been resolved. So stay tuned for this car story that I'm going to tell at some point in the show. But for now, I'll just say I rear-ended someone. Then a week later, someone rear-ended me, and then I took it to the shop in North Hollywood, and the guy was so nice. He was like, "Don't worry, I'm going to get that front part of your car fixed." And I thought that was so sweet.
Nice people exist. All right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. Let's jump into what have we been watching. Sebas and I went and watched Frankenstein last weekend, and Guillermo del Toro was there. Sebas, what did you think about Frankenstein? I also want to hear your opinion, Nico. But I had my friend there, Sophie. She didn't like it.
I fucking love Frankenstein. I went in there, I was telling Helen, like, I don't expect to enjoy it. I heard conflicting things about it. A lot of Guillermo's films recently have not been doing it for me. You know, I didn't enjoy Shape of Water. I didn't enjoy Crimson Peak. I didn't enjoy Nightmare Alley or whatever. Just flops left and right. And so I was like waiting for this to be whatever mid, but I actually really enjoyed it. I thought the story was captivating. I really appreciated the father-son dynamic that Guillermo talked about after the fact, like in his Q&A, and then I started to really see it in the film. And you know, as someone that has a fraught relationship with their father as well, like seeing that played out in a very like traditional story really made me feel like, oh, like I can maybe, you know, retrofit another story to make it modern or put my own spin on it. And it really left me really inspired. And after hearing him speak, really just like elevated it altogether. I also love Jacob Elordi's performance. Was not expecting it. Thought he was great as well. And I heard an interview where Guillermo said that he casts by the eyes, and he could like see Jacob had like this innocence to him and curiosity, and Oscar had like this passion and a lot of stuff going on in his head. So it was cool to see it all come together. And I really loved the female character too. So I liked it.
Me too. I liked it. Nico, thoughts?
Well, first of all, I have to say, I was in a screening where Guillermo was giving a Q&A. I can't begin to appreciate how much this guy is thoughtful about his work, how much he knows about this, how long he's been working on this. And then the craft of the movie is impeccable, right? Like we all seen it. It's old school kind of Hollywood stuff where it's sprawling, it's beautiful. Everything is very thoughtful and very well crafted. Having said that, the problem I usually have with him is that to me, the craft sometimes suffocates the story. In the most basic way, what I found is when a character dies on his movies, I just don't feel that much. I'm not that invested emotionally in the relationship. I feel like that doesn't do it for me. I don't know what it is. We can dive in, but I feel bad about it because I actually thought the movie was good. Obviously, right? The movie's very good. I wasn't moved by it. I felt like the spectacle kind of eat away the emotions for me, if that makes sense.
You weren't even like a little sad when Mia Goth, sorry, spoiler, dies?
Spoiler alert.
You weren't even
when Mia Goth dies, right?
Yeah, you didn't feel sad?
It didn't do it for me. No, I wasn't invested in the character, and I'm a crier. Like I would cry on the movies, but again, filmmaking is so subjective. Like some people may be very, very moved by that, and then you know the form could be very touching. But did you feel emotions? Do you feel the feel?
I felt emotions. I felt frustrated when he was being, you know, an asshole to Frankenstein. Like, I felt like he was being such a dick, and I felt bad for the guy. I mean, yeah, I felt things. I thought it.
I'm glad he did. I hope that the movie does very well. That it's a movie that I wish well. I don't, there's some movies that upset me because, I don't like them and upset me. But this one is one that I really hope it does well. Do we know any box office numbers? No. People are liking it?
I don't even think it has a full release yet. I think it did like a few theaters last week.
I mean, it's a Netflix movie, right? It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Listen, he's a treasure, I think. I'm glad that he's still getting the budgets to do movies. And hopefully, like, the projects like this one and Netflix don't put so much box office pressure on his movies, because I think it's good that they exist, right? Yeah.
I mean, especially now with all the other movies that did you like his last films that have come out recently?
I love Shape of Water. You guys didn't like Shape of Water.
I did. The same thing happened to me. I didn't buy the relationship between the creature and her. When she had to say that the creature was beautiful because it wasn't, like, I don't know. The same here, I felt like the relationship between Mia Goth and
Lordy.
It didn't felt earned to me. Like, I get it symbolically, but then in a practical level, like, when it happens, it doesn't go through me. I think the same with the transition. When Frankenstein starts being an asshole, I didn't quite like get that transition, to be honest. Like, I felt like he turned, like, he's obsessed.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Yeah,
he's obsessed with giving life, and then when it happens, it's like, oh, but he's dumb. It's like, wow, this wasn't part of the deal. Like, what? Now you wanted to be intelligent too? Like, what? You never said that.
I agree with that. It was very sudden. It's like, oh, okay, now you just hate his guts because he just keeps repeating your name.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that I felt like that was a reflection on him, and that's how he took it. Like most fathers do to their sons. Like, they project what they want on their kids. And when their kids don't perform the way they think they're supposed to, they get pissed. What he also said at the Q&A, parents will always be the victim. Like, they always play like they're the ones that are like at fault. Like, they're the ones that are not being understood. They're the ones that are trying so hard, but they forget that children are born with their own personality. You can't say you want this. They're born by themselves, like in their own right. They're their own person. And I think the Frankenstein, the monster itself, was like, I like the performance because he was very innocent in a way that we've only seen it be a caricature of in other iterations. Like, usually we see him like hurt the girl at when he meets the girl, and this one had more of like a naturalistic approach for me, in a way, in like an innocent way. I don't know. It was different for me. I didn't experience. I didn't even think that was going to happen.
Innocent. Yeah, very innocent. It felt
very innocent. And even though I didn't love how she died at the end, and I felt like his female characters sometimes like are at a deficit because he's so focused on like his relationship with his father. Like, sometimes they're not as developed well. And I know a lot of people that hated the representation of Mia Goth's character in the film as a woman that is like perfect or too good. But I think overall he took something that is very traditional and made it a little exciting. And I normally hate like narration movies, and this was all that, and it wasn't until the third act when the monster tells his side of the story, right? That, as someone who is dealing with their own relationship with their fathers, like, just to be heard is so hard and important. Not to have support or judgment, just to be heard and like acknowledged. Like, it's so hard for us.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, because I think all those things were in the script, and they talk to you in a way that they didn't to me, and maybe it's a personal thing, so I'm glad that you responded to it, because I think it's by design. All those things are there for sure. I identify those things.
Sebas, what are you holding?
Oh, it's like I don't know, it's kind of like a ADD.
Oh, that's so cool. My attention.
I thought it was a blade or something, like a colorful
like a blade.
We had a bunch of these in our writer's room, so whenever we're just like talking or thinking, we're just like doing stuff like this. Yeah,
that's a cool one.
Bugonia, please tell me, no spoilers, please, just because I haven't seen.
No spoilers. Okay, can I tell you what is it about?
Can you just start with like how many stars out of 5?
4.5. I loved it. I love this movie, and I'm not a Yorgos Lanthimos like a diehard fan. Like, I like some movies, some others I don't like much. Okay, this movie is what?
You're a cult fan. And this movie feels culty. Yeah.
Oh, I love cults. You mean? Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory. I think it's, in a way, is a sister movie of Eddington. If you've seen Eddington, is really connected through the fact that, we're all living inside this information bubbles. We can reach out to one another, and we create our own realities, right? These are 2 conspiracy obsessed young men who kidnap the Emma Stone character, who's this high powered CEO of this major, I would say, is some sort of pesticide company or something like that, or maybe it's a pharmaceutical company. It's not clear, or maybe I'm not clear about it. And this guy is convinced that she's an alien intending to destroy planet Earth. It's a guy who's also an apiculturist, so he's obsessed with bees and the declining populations of bees that he links to this. Anyway, without going further into the story that you're going to watch yourself, I felt like it was a movie that hated his characters in a way. I think Yorgos Lanthimos is a misanthropist. Like, he hates humanity. I think it's interesting how he presents these characters in a very cynical light, and still the movie is funny and fun to watch, and has stakes. And he does something very important and very difficult, which is, it's a kidnap. You can see it in the trailer. He presents the kidnapper as a very nice guy. Then he switches and he switches again. All the characters, you're seeing the characters with a new light every 25 minutes. And that's very hard to do, I think, in writing. Kind of switching the table and saying, okay, but like, let's consider this element now. And now you have a different perception of the characters. And then I learned that this was a remake, which I didn't know. Did you know this?
No.
So Bugonia is a remake of John Hwan movie. It's a Korean movie called Save the Green Planet from 2003. And this guy, the director, Sean Hwan, was supposed to direct this remake for the US market now, but he had to step down due to health reasons. So Yorgos took over the directing, and this guy was kept as a executive producer. And they changed the title to Bugonia. I was like, Bugonia is a word that doesn't come up in the whole movie. So you leave the movie thinking, okay, what's Bugonia about? And then I went online. So Bugonia is an ancient Greek superstition that bees could be spontaneously generated from the carcass of a cow. Like a dying cow would create bees, and the Greeks thought this. It was like a superstition, and I think he uses it as a metaphor for the contemporary issues and the potential of maybe new life emerging from very corrupt or decaying world or situations, which is kind of his view on the world. But it's funny that you go like, oh wait, what was that about? Like, I didn't know that word doesn't come out. And it's a very contained movie. It's like, it really feels like almost like a play at times. It is not a very big movie. Emma Stone is so good in it, and Jesse Plemons is incredible. He's vulnerable, but at the same time aggressive. Like, incredible. Like, the dynamic is impeccable. I don't know. I mean, it's Yorgos Lanthimos is maybe one of the few guys that can create unique, bold work right now. He earned that right. Is like maybe from a handful of people doing that right now, doing things that are not that safe. I feel like everything else is very, very safe, except for the work of like 10 people.
Yeah. I love Yorgos, and I love the way that he treats male characters in comparison with women. And it's so obvious that he's on our side. Like, he hates men. And I love that. I love that about him. Are you going to see it, Sebas?
Yeah, I can't wait. I was going to say we should see it together.
Let's go watch it.
Movies. I want to see, I think they're going to do it at the WGA Theater next week.
That'd be fun. Let's do it.
We should see it.
What else are you watching, Sebas?
Well, besides my show, The Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy on Peacock, which is awesome. Y'all should check it out if you like true crime. It's an interesting take on it. It's not violent or gory. It's not salacious. It's very much a grounded take on the victims of John Wayne Gacy and how he affected all the people that he killed. Besides that, I just watched Boots on Netflix, which I think is one of the best shows of TV this year, besides my show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a brilliant coming of age story based on a memoir about the writer who joins the Marines because he's kind of like directionless in life. He's queer, and at the time being gay was like not allowed in the army, in the military, and so he navigates that as well as coming of age with himself. It's excellent told. It's like expertly written. Shout out to staff writer on that show, Dominic Colon, who's a good friend of mine. It's a really awesome show. I really recommend it.
Yeah, speaking of your show, I started watching it, and I'm very excited to binge it because with dramas I just kind of have to, or else I'll get distracted and I'll start a different show and I just will never come back to it. But question, in the pilot, this kid goes missing on his mom's birthday, and is that true to life with the victim?
Yeah, so apparently on that day, that was the last victim. That was Gacy's last victim, and it was his mom's birthday. The victim was working at a pharmacy, and the mom went to pick him up. They were going to go to dinner with their family, and John Wayne Gacy was also there that night. He was doing construction in the pharmacy, and he offered this boy a job. And the boy wanted extra work, so he was talking to Gacy in the back of the pharmacy while the mom was in the front waiting for him. And the boy went home with him that night and never came back. So that's a true story. Yeah, there's a lot of fact. Like, we spend so much time with the facts on that show. We had a researcher, we had access to all the police documents, the court transcripts, the medical records, everything really. And it was just a harrowing story to really dive deep in and try to bring to light not just the murders as a killer, but the victims and I guess the lives they lived.
That has to be tough, no? Sorry, to live through, to research, live in that world for so long, working on this project has to be very tough, I guess.
Yeah. At first, I had no idea, coming from the NBC program, I'm just like gonna dive headfirst into it. And I'm gonna live, eat, and breathe it, right? Because I want to do really good on the show. And it's my first show. And I want to be like swimming in the information. So yeah, it was tough. I didn't realize how hard it was going to be until like midway to the end, because, you end up filling your brain with all this like information only pertaining to this one thing. And you're constantly, on my wall, I have like photos of the victims and the locations and, like certain items that were pulled from the dead bodies, just to like give the story texture and keep it like in the front of my mind. And after all that, it took a while to like detox from that. I was dreaming about it. I was just thinking about it all the time. I saw connections in everything. My initial connection to that show or that story was that, with hookup culture and queer culture with Grindr and like Field and whatever else, like we put ourselves in these positions, at late at night, nobody else knows we're here, just to feel connection or to feel, some type of something that we're longing. And we could have easily been those victims. And I feel like since the showrunner Patrick McManus took a different approach to the stories, I felt very connected to it because we spent so much time on the victims specifically, which was very heavy.
Yeah, I'm excited to finish the series. Congrats. And then can you remind me, Vigilante, the show that you're now writing on, is also a Patrick McManus show, right? The creator. What is it about?
Yeah, so Vigilante is about the Texas killing fields. So that's about a highway, the I-95, which spans like north from Houston all the way up through Texas. And along that road, about 70 women have been killed since the 70s up until like late 90s. A lot of their bodies have not been found. A lot of them have been found, only mostly remains. And so the show is about this one man, his name is Tim Miller, who his daughter was kidnapped and eventually killed, found by the fields. He starts a program called Texas EquiSearch, which basically, if your person goes missing, you go to them first to help you find it, because the police take 24 hours. They take a long time to like actually do the processing for the missing person and then actually go look for them. Takes a while. His whole company does the search early with horses, sonar, with volunteers. And many cases, they've found the bodies before the police. He has a few famous ones. The most famous one, I think her name was like Vanessa Gurien, or she was like a military, Latina military person who was killed, and they found their body. So it's about him and how he pushed his own family aside as he was creating this company, because that was his way of like dealing with his trauma, but also pushed away his wife and his other daughter at the same time, who were alive. So it's very heavy on the moral conundrum.
Yeah, that is heavy. Sebas is just back-to-back heavy shows.
When a rom-com, so
Man, rom-com soon, hopefully soon. Like I write on the side, I write some funny stuff for myself, and just to keep the level playing field. I just was watching also the It show, Welcome to Derry.
I watched the pilot last night.
Yeah, it's scary. It's good. It really does. It's really an exercise in horror TV show pacing, and the story I think is great. I'm really invested so far.
How do you feel about the like the similarities with Stranger Things, though?
Well, I
don't bother you?
No, because Stranger Things was a copy of It initially,
Interesting.
And I feel like Stranger Things is more action, like The Goonies. It is more like harrowing shit. Like, I don't know, you saw the pilot, you saw how it ended. Like, I was not expecting that. And so I feel like it's a little bit more violent and visceral. I love Stranger Things, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm not so attached to the ending anymore because it's dragged on for so long. But I think it's good.
Yeah, it has yeah, I think it should have ended with the last season. The one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, is there a new season out? Haven't seen it.
Not yet. The new season's coming out soon. But the previous season that's on Netflix, that was an amazing season. I remember just like crying toward the end. It was just very, very powerful.
We didn't need another one.
We didn't need another one. No, I don't think we need another one. But hey, money.
I mean, and now they're at Paramount, right? Like, I think they just signed a deal with Paramount, Bethel Brothers, and who knows? they even got it in them for another story. You know that we'll see where it goes because they haven't done anything since Stranger Things.
Oh yeah. That's no pressure. No pressure on the Duff brothers. All right, we're gonna jump into only good news. I really had to search for some good hope in this topic that I'm about to bring up. But Netflix looks like they want to buy Warner Brothers. It's a whole thing. Who's going to buy Warner Brothers? Blah, blah, blah. But Netflix buying Warner Brothers essentially would technically be bad. Would be bad because consolidation, less jobs, there'd be less movies to go to theaters because they'd go on Netflix. But on the bright side, the WGA, the Writers Guild of America, I think they're definitely going to try to block this.
WGA to the rescue.
For example, they could join forces with SAG-AFTRA and the DGA, the Directors Guild, and they could oppose the merger, which would be amazing. And you're like, how would they have power? I didn't know that they could do this, but apparently they can't directly block the merger, but they can shape the regulators' view on whether or not it should be blocked. So it's going to take a lot of convincing, but I believe in them.
Who's the regulator? Are they in Trump's pocket?
The FCC, yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, they are.
Trump's FCC, who's all about big money.
Deregulation.
The thing is, any merger is bad because you have less places to take your stuff. There's less buyers, right? Not to even mention that when a merger happened independently, if it's with Netflix, which would be worse, like the problem is they lay off a lot of people because they're taking on a company that has a lot of debt. So to consolidate the debt, they do a lot of layoffs. So it's sad. It's really, we haven't found the bottom of this situation for the entertainment industry, and it's very sad. And part of me wants to, can we just like know what the new normal is? Because we've been dealing with this situation for so long. It's like, I just want to know what the reality is so we can move on into adjusting to it, you know?
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see and see what happens with.
Yeah, so many people got laid off already from Amazon and Paramount.
Yeah, it is rough out here. Rough out here, but however, on the bright side, we do have our unions, and hopefully they will advocate for us. And now it is time for one of my favorite segments, How Did They Make It? And we were talking about Bugonia, so we're going to talk about Yorgos Lanthimos.
Love this.
He's Greek. We all love him. Let me take you through his background. He was born in 1973. He studied film and television direction at the Hellenic Cinema and Television Schools, Stavrakos, in Athens. Before directing, he worked in commercials, music videos, and theater. So he was already in it from the very beginning. He wasn't one of those that like started doing something and then found film later. He already knew from the very beginning. Early film work. I've not seen any of these. Let me know if you have. But My Best Friend, I think that was 2001, co-directed. Kinetta, this was 2005. His first solo feature. Didn't see that. Apparently it was absurd realism. And then his international breakthrough with Dogtooth, that was in 2009. This was funded with a tiny Greek grant. Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, awesome movie.
Oh, cool. So it told the story of a family who keeps their adult children isolated from the world. Oh, that sounds interesting. Okay. It won the Prix Un Certain Regard, and it earned an Oscar nom for Best Foreign Language Film, and it was the first for Greece in decades. So yeah, this basically launched Lanthimos into the international art house scene. And since then, you know, we've gotten The Lobster, Killing of a Sacred Deer. Killing of a Sacred Deer I did not really enjoy. I did enjoy Poor Things so much. I could go on and on about Poor Things. Oh yeah, The Favorite.
Love The Favorite. But I agree with you on the Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's like his favorite.
I love that one the most.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, tell me why.
Tell Sebas why.
No, you tell me why.
I wanna hear Helen's opinion.
Well, I just remember it not having a story too compelling to me, and it was very kind of gory. It was violent.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And then it starts with a heart operation, open heart, which I thought it was interesting, right? That's an idea, and it's very gory because it's like blood everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, The Favorite is so different from that movie. I think I'm just more in line with that direction when he goes.
I love the writer McNamara on that.
McNamara is amazing. Yeah. But why did you like it, Sebas?
I loved it because when I was in college learning about cinema history, right? And I found Yorgos and I found Dogtooth. It was at the same time that I found like Michael Haneke's work, which he did like The Piano Teacher and the original Funny Games and this really brilliant film called Mammoth. And at the same time, I was watching things by like Larry Clark, who did Kids, and I don't know if you've ever seen Kids, also an excellent film. And, Lars von Trier, who did the Dogma 95 and had like the whole like realism handheld story on stories that make you feel like viscerally uncomfortable. So all those filmmakers, and Yorgos too, because Dogtooth is like an uncomfortable movie.
There's a line there. It's true. There's a through line.
Yeah, and I feel like Yorgos was pulling from these other filmmakers that I just mentioned and like bringing us to like the new generation of like uncomfortable filmmaking in a way, but not just for the uncomfortableness, but he actually had like something to say. And so fast forward to Killing of a Sacred Deer, I thought was really exciting because just the tension in that movie is always at a high, like the whole time. I don't know whether or not like it always feels like something's about to happen, even though it doesn't really happen. There's just like a constant tension, and you don't know what the relationship dynamics are between like Colin Farrell's character and Nicole Kidman's character and like their kids. And then you have this like young kid. I forgot who the actor is, but he's like
Barry Keoghan.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Keoghan. Yeah. And he's like,
So creepy.
So creepy already. Right. And he's like pulling the strings and like blackmailing Colin Farrell's character. And I just felt like besides that whole uncomfortableness of the movie plus the cinematography, which I really love, like cinematography that puts you in another place, another perspective, and makes you feel viscerally uncomfortable. This made me feel that way. And so I was like, wow, I love that movie. And
I changed my mind. I love the movie now.
And at the ending was cool. Like it's just so out there, and it's just like so in line with Yorgos's work as well. And you're right. He's one of the 10 filmmakers of today that would actually find something interesting and new. May or may not work, but so far they've all been working. Like Lobster, such a random movie and story.
Amazing.
So brilliant.
That one.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't write his movies, but that one he wrote, and I'm reading now that Killing of a Sacred Deer was written by him and Philip Poole, which is another writer. Yeah.
I was working at an agency when the script came out, and I have this like visual of me just like printing the script for the agent who had requested it, and then also for myself because I wanted to read it. And this was back in the day when like you had to just print scripts for people all the time. I was thinking about that too the other day. I was like, that's so much paper. But anyway, yeah, I don't think I did that around reading it, but I watched it and I was not a fan. But yeah, I'm glad that we all like Yorgos. What is your favorite Yorgos film? I know, Sebas, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Nico, what's yours?
I'm torn between The Lobster and Dogtooth. Those two I love so much. And the last one the very ending, I'm not going to say anything about it. The very, very ending of almost the epilogue of the movie is one of the most iconic moments in cinema this year. I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward for you to, I'm really looking forward for you to check it out because that alone justifies the whole movie.
I love them. I love them together. Emma and Yorgos, I just love them.
Yeah.
So much.
I'm excited for Bugonia. I'm a huge alien conspiracy theorist, so when I heard that it was about that, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna have something to say about this.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to watch that with you, Sebas, so we can debrief afterwards.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on this ride, this lovely little episode. It's been great. It's been fun. Can you tell us where people can find you on Instagram, and then also to check out your shows? Let us know.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. My IG handle is I'm just too illmatic with the number 2. And it's you can also find me in the internet, sebastianrea.com. I have some of my short films that are on there, and my show Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy, is on Peacock right now. Please stream it. We have the huge Latino lead, Gabriel Luna is in our show, and he's killing it. So support us.
I don't know this person, Gabriel Luna.
You know him. He was in The Last of Us. Yeah, you'll know him when you see him. He's excellent in it.
Okay.
Seba, before we go, the question we asked all our guests, the question is, what does making it means to you?
Making it means to me being able to live off of what I love to do. I've been very lucky and blessed to have always been putting myself in the places where I want to see myself. I've always known I wanted to work in film, for example, and coming from an immigrant background, that's not an easy pipeline for us to get into. So I think making it means working, striving to fill your passion and your heart, even if it's adjacent to what you're doing. If you're working towards it, one day you will get there. So just keep going and don't forget about your dreams, because they don't forget about you.
Dreaming is free, you guys.
Dreaming is free. Yes, exactly.
Screwed it.
That is the out to close this episode. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining
You're
us.
so sweet.
Thank you guys for having me. I had a great time.
Bye, Nico.
Bye.